What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's happening with the economic calendar thus far, what's going on with other factors involving the markets, and what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit $500 into the account, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks, and this offer ends in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening with the market and the data. So I just want to mention that right now the market's on a bit of an uptrend, pushing very, very nicely during this pre-market session, and there is more potential for the market to get higher, but I just want to warn you to watch your resistance as we're getting very, very close to some tight levels. So what's happening with the market for now in terms of data, I just want to mention that we just got the exports and imports data and initial jobless claims, and so far the market's liking this data because exports are a little bit higher than expected, imports are also a bit higher, and overall everything kind of balances out very close to what we were looking for. And then on top of this, initial jobless claims was at 221,000, above expectations. Continuing jobless claims were at 1.8 million, a little bit under that, so a little bit below what the forecast was. So overall, the labor market is showing a little bit more contraction, and this is a bit more positive for the Fed's policies, right? This is what we want to see for disinflationary data. Now, when it comes to data that's going to affect the markets in the future, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 4-week and 8-week bill auctions. This could cause some more volatility, so watch for volatility at that time. And additionally, we have a bunch of Fed speakers after that. At 12 p.m. up until about 7 p.m. today, we have Barkin, Mester, Kugler, and a bunch of these Fed speakers. We have a bunch of them. They're going to likely cause some volatility starting at noon. So watch and see what they end up saying and how the market ends up responding. That's going to be very, very important as well. So we'll have to see what this causes. For other pieces of data, I just want to mention that more news is coming out about how the Dow was actually relatively weak compared to the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq yesterday, and we're starting to see a big change this morning, so we'll see if that continues. Amazon's cloud computing division is cutting hundreds of jobs in its physical store, technology, and sales and marketing units. It's happening as a result of their big changes that are coming. It also has to do with other changes in recent cloud spending. So that's some big improvements. There's some big improvements Amazon's trying to make in that service. So we'll see how that goes for them. But that's why they're actually starting to let some employees go. There's also news coming out right here that the Disney shareholder meeting has been taking place, and they're re-electing basically most of their full board, which is good news for them. So that's actually a bit of an improvement. So we'll see how that goes for Disney. Then we also had Jerome Powell giving a speech yesterday. I went over most of what he said. As a reminder, he was just kind of in the middle, saying that the Fed is in no rush to ease monetary policy. They need more good data for them to make that decision. And on the way down to the 2% inflationary targets, there could be a bumpy ride. He did say that, and despite that, the Fed is still going to be very patient nonetheless. So they need more positive data for them to be in a state where they're ready to start cutting rates, and they need a little bit more time to do so. So that's some very, very important news. So besides that, the market is still very, very bullish. Now I want to break down some very important resistance levels and how things are looking in my opinion. So SPY is looking bullish, obviously. We're pushing it very, very nicely, but watch 524 is key resistance. The last time we hit this, so there was a time we rejected off 524, and also another time we hit this, we kind of rejected a bit, then came back up before coming back down. So I'm going to be looking for a test of 524. I think it could push a little bit higher, but watch and see how we end up reacting to this resistance, because the higher we go, the tighter it's going to get. If we break 524, watch 525, and then 525 points is right here, 525.75 to 525.8. I'm going to be watching resistance up here. It's going to be very important, but we'll see how things go. For support, watch 523. If we lose that, watch 522, followed by 520.8. So we'll see how things go. Overall, SPY is looking a bit more bullish on a nice uptrend so far, and I see more potential. So watch and see how it reacts to resistance, but I am seeing more and more potential for it. For Tesla, just as we predicted, we are seeing some upside on Tesla. We're currently at 170.43. It has more potential to get higher if we could try to hold above 170. If we manage to do so, watch 172 and then 173.75. If we lose 170, we're going to be coming back down to 167.8. And if we lose that, 165 is next. In my opinion, Tesla's looking a bit more bullish, but we need to try to hold above 170. If it holds 170, this thing can pump more. If we fail to do so, we're going to be coming back down. But my gut tells me it's going to try to hold for the time being, and then it's going to likely follow the market. So the market pushes a bit more, Tesla could push with it. And if the market rejects, Tesla might follow that trend. As of right now, it's trying to hold up. So watch and see how it holds above 170. Could try to push a little bit higher towards this previous resistance at 171. And then if that breaks, 174 becomes a real possibility. But like I said before, I think Tesla could try to push higher. Just watch this resistance just to be safe and see how well it holds above 170. I still think it has potential, but it's going to be a little bit tougher for it. For the QQQ, this is looking bullish. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. Could go all the way up to the full measure move into the 447 area. If that breaks, watch 448.5. Overall, we look bullish on the QQQ. For support, make sure you watch 446. If they lose this, we could see a dip all the way down to 444. In my opinion, the QQQ is looking a bit more bullish, so I could see more bullish potential for the time being, at least temporarily, and then we'll watch what happens with this resistance as we approach the 447 to 448 area. But overall, the QQQ is looking a bit more bullish, so looking to see if we could get this attempt to push a little bit higher and then watch how it reacts to this resistance as well. So we'll have to see how things go for the QQQ. Overall, I do see some more bullish potential, but make sure you watch this resistance the closer we get to 447.5 to 448 and see how it ends up responding. All right, so look for a push higher, and then we'll see how it responds after that. For Nvda is showing some life. We just approached 905. We have this 905 to 908 resistance to be watching for. We have support at 900. If we lose that, watch 892, followed by 885. As of right now, it's showing some life, trying to push higher. So watch this resistance up here, and we'll see if this thing could continue to get higher as well. But overall, we're looking pretty good on Nvda. In my opinion, I think it's showing some life and has potential to go a little bit higher, but watch this resistance at 908. That's going to be very, very key for today. On top of all of this, we also have Aapl. Apple's trying to push a bit. Watch resistance at 170.9. If we break this, we're going to be pushing for 171.5. If we lose this, we're going to come down to 170, then eventually 169. The chart's looking a bit more bullish, but watch to see if we can break 170.9 for now. And if we do so, watch 171.5. In my opinion, there's potential, but give it a little bit more time. There's also an inverse head and shoulders, which gives us a bit more potential as well. But like I said, going to be a little bit patient with this. Palantir is pushing very, very hard. We had a bullish piece of news that came out about a new deal. If this thing could break 24, look for a push all the way up to about 24.5, and eventually we're going to be pushing for 24.64 and then 25. If we lose 23.5, we're going to turn back down, but overall the chart does have more bullish potential. Supermicro is looking a bit more bullish. We broke 1020. We have resistance down at 1040. If we break that, watch 1060 and then higher levels above that. So far, so good from the chart. For AMD, we're looking a bit more bullish. We're holding our support very, very nicely. If we manage to hold above 182.42 or close above that today, it's going to have more potential to go all the way up to 187. If we lose 182.42, we're going to turn back down, all the way back down to 180 we go. So far, so good. It looks like it has more potential to break out if we can maintain these levels. Coinbase is testing 260. If we keep going, we could go all the way back up towards 268 if we break 262. And if we end up losing, support at 255, it could be coming down to 252 and eventually lower levels. So I'm seeing some potential in Coinbase to push a little bit higher. There was this head and shoulders like structure which led to this move down. So we'll have to see if we can try to invalidate some of that price action by pushing higher. It could pop a little bit of watch resistance because even if we do go up higher, there could be a risk of rejection because of the head and shoulders. So be a little bit careful, but I do see some more upside potential, for it for the time being. Amazon has resistance around 184.5. If we break this, watch 185. If we fail to break it, we're going to be coming back down to 182.76. So watch and see how well we hold around 184.25. That's going to be key for it. There's also Meta. Meta has this resistance at 516. If we break it, 520 is coming. If we fail to break it, we could be returning back down to about 514. If that fails us, 510 is next. So we'll have to see how things go. Anyways, that is it for this video. I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Hope you guys have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. And so far, the charts are showing some life, so watch for this upon open for today. Anyways, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in just a couple of hours. Watch resistance very carefully and just know the market has more upside potential. Thank you for listening, and peace out.